Now, I've always been a fan of Korn since I can remember grade 9 even. I was listening to the Korn melodies with my brethren, and these guys are a whole band of dreadheads. I suggest checking out their music if you haven't already, but the guitarist of the band, Brian Welch, otherwise known as Head, has some dreads and some long hair since the beginning of his days in the band. I feel his dreads were put together more so with rubber bands at the very beginning, because he would have more of a type 2, even a type 1C hair. And to get dreads like this, he's definitely been free-forming them. Might have even started with a little bit of backcomb and crochet, but we know that his new growth is not being manipulated and sectioned off like a lot of these other dread reviews that we see. Brian Welch's dreads have been spotted in the past with rubber bands like this wrapped around them. This will enhance his dreading process. Let's say if he has any loops or kinks in his hair, in his dreads that are forming, this will kind of smoothen them out. But he's also doing this for the grunge effect and the look that kind of comes with it as a metal guitarist. So his locks here looking very cylindrical and very thin, and this is the old picture when his hair was more so in braids with rubber bands in it, that I feel like he might have used to start his dreading process if it was not backcombed and crocheted. So you can kind of see how his hair can turn from this into dreads over the years. But I feel that Brian Welch here has had dreads for obviously more than a decade, coming from straight-ish hair like this. So if you have hair like Brian Welch and you're trying to achieve the dreadlock look, your best bet is going to be your back combing and your twist and rip. If this doesn't suffice you enough, go ahead and use your crochet hook to kind of get them started, but the freeform route will eventually take place, allowing your dreads to kind of look like this. And we know that he's not really doing anything to the roots because he's got a lot of frizzy hair. Even in this pineapple top that he's got going to bed with, there's frizzy hair everywhere, but it's kind of alarming that he's not covering his head when he's going to bed. His locks being very lengthy, definitely almost down to his waist, and we can see in pictures like this where his hair started from before the dreads. So being a metal artist, he's definitely got to headbang that shit around. And if you remember him from back in the day, he used to have the China bumps like this. So it's cool to see his dreads come such a far way progression in his journey, showing that you can still rock a suit with these locks. And again, notice the frizziness and no scalp showing on his locks, and beard forming heavily these days. Mad pineapple top, as we see here. He's not afraid to show some silliness with his locks. I find that very important in being able to rock goofy hairstyles with locks, because it kind of gives you that dreadlock confidence that a lot of people seem to be missing these days, especially with pictures like this when he says he's flying in first class and he's like, why are these people looking at me? You got a bag on your head, dude. I'm out of here. Peace out, one love, not nation.
Out of here, it'd be awesome, because it gets hard. You know what I'm saying? Like those hard days, you're like, everybody, let's get real. Everybody's got those thoughts. You're like, oh man, Jesus come back. That's why everybody's like.